So guys, obviously Zach's not here today, and that kind of got me thinking. I'm the guest host or the whatever you want to call it today. Got me thinking, have you ever had a time where the boss was out and you had to fill in, and how did it go? Because I'm not sure how this is going to go today.
Yeah, I've definitely, I've had my fair share of jobs working at grocery stores and restaurants and stuff. But when the boss is out, that's when it's time to fuck around and have fun. Actually enjoy being at work and getting paid to, enjoy yourself. I've never had to step up like this. This is a new one for me. So.
Yeah. New level of responsibility for sure. But how about you, Ben? Any memories? Obviously, you're a supervisor now, but.
Well, so you asked me the question earlier, right? And I've changed jobs a couple times, but for the last, I want to say like 16 years, I've been a manager of some sort. So it's like whenever like the main manager was out, it always got kicked to me. But because I always had direct reports, like people that report to me, I couldn't necessarily fuck around. So I'm like, I've been a manager so long, I'm just like this weathered husk of a person, Like I don't even remember what it's like to have fun at work anymore and mess around.
Yeah.
But I would say the last time I can remember kind of messing around a little bit at work was when I worked for Good Life Fitness back in the day, because I'd run the night crew. And the one time this very pretty young lady decided to come in, and she was a little on the tipsy side. So we weren't allowed to normally let people in the gym, but all she wanted to do was tan. And so she came into the club to go tan.
Oh, I see.
And so I let her in, and then she ended up falling asleep in the sunbed with the door locked because she was tipsy. So we ended up having to call the maintenance manager of the building and get him to come down and unlock this tanning door. Thankfully, she tanned in a bathing suit. I mean, she was pretty, but like, you don't want to see that shit, like, unless you're invited. And thankfully she was dressed and was fine. We got her out and kicked her out, obviously, put her in.
They like, who the fuck let this chick in the door?
Yeah. But then my boss at the time was like, exactly, why did you let this person in? What were you thinking? And I was like, I was just trying to be nice. I mean, I thought she was just in a good mood. I didn't realize she was hammered. Turns out. So, note to self.
Oh boy. Okay.
Don't mess around at work when there's fitness equipment.
Absolutely. Good thing I'm not hammered today. But I will just say one thing about today's show.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll do it live, whatever happens. But, I was the type of boss where, same as Dean, it's like time to fuck around. Everybody go home. You know what? We work too hard as it is. Everyone just have a good time. Yeah. If they ever put me in charge, everyone's going home. That's for sure.
Close early.
That's right.
Yeah.
So on that, we're gonna have a pretty quick show tonight. Maybe about an hour and a half. So yeah, we like to just have a good time, and we'll close early today. But
are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Shall we lock in the artillery power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, I'm Marco.
I'm Dean.
And I'm Ben.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where friends talk about things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That has got to be the weirdest thing I've experienced in a long time.
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't
It's
feel
like a
right.
fever dream, dude.
Honestly.
Just picture Dean naked next time. It always helps with cue cards.
Oh God, yes.
He'd just be awkward and direct. What are you talking about? But thank you guys for joining us live. We're gonna stumble through the show without our brave and noble leader, Zach.
That's right. We're all kind of down bad right now. Dean's recovering from penile reconstructive surgery.
I was trying to make my way to my room, and I was in so much pain. I was like, oh, I can't like not show up. Like this is like the time when I have to rally like Bane, and I'm struggling right now. I'm in pain, but we're gonna keep it short. So.
I mean, it might have been funny to just like tune in and watch Marco and I struggle through it for an hour.
No one wants to see that.
Like, thank you for walking to the computer, Dean. I love you, buddy.
That's right. No, appreciate you rallying. And obviously Ben has been sick as well, so we got a lot of folks under the weather, but we're gonna get through it. Let me check in with the chat really quick. So we've got Toy Mafia in the house, Lane Kramer. Let's see, we got Carlito. Let's see, Sam Gist, SpongeBob Square Bowls. We got Niculio in the house. What's going on? Happy first day of Oxust. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see, Sean Foster in the house. Hey, Sean, thank you for joining. We got Jazzy. We got Maxim M. We got Tukothri. We've got John the Everyday Collector. Hey, guys. Hey, John, thanks for joining. We got 12-inch Moose Stream in the house. We got the legend Brian Fontaine. Evening, gentlemen. We've got Badfish, Absolute Irwin. We've got Yomo. We've got a packed house tonight. Let's see. We've got Alvin J in the house. Let's see who else we have. Let's see. We got Pablo Mesa in the house. We got Troopin' with Robin. Hello. We got Tukothri in the house. This reminds me of when Data. We never.
Chris. Data. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say Data. When Data took command of the USS
Zach for the day.
Sutherland, you got to be confident when you're in the commander chair. I've got my own channel. I host plenty of times, but hosting Collecting Weekly is a whole different creature. So we got Benjamin Bowman also in the house. Let's see. We've got Charles in the house. Hey, Charles, thank you for joining. Let's see who else we may have. We got CM Chuck in the house here. And we've got a $2 super chat from Lane Kramer. Thanks to Team CW for stepping in tonight. Stream go. Hey, Lane, thank you so much for the generous super chat. Yeah, awesome. So with that, let's start the show with the segment we start every show with.
Yeah, sorry.
Dean, you ready?
You're so used to Zach's voice.
I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, you guys ready?
Let's
Absolutely.
do it. You hate to see it. You absolutely.
It's always so seamless.
Absolutely hate to see
What's new this week?
Yeah, because Zach always hits the button, but I guess you guys don't realize that.
Yeah, well, we're sorting out a lot of things right now. So, Ben, you got a few things new this week. What'd you get? Let me bring it up for you.
Got lots. And by the way, for the record, before I ever joined the live show, I used to think you guys did that into the microphone every week, the new this week.
We used to.
How does he get it so consistent?
The veil has come down on us.
Yeah, so real quick, we used to do it live every week. And then when we started having to do the podcast like this, like not in person, there's latency issues. So somebody would come in too late, and then somebody was always off. And even when
I hate when someone comes too late. That's tough.
Yeah. Even when we thought we nailed it, it would sound like shit. And so we just ended up pre-recording it and then turned it into a thing.
Yeah. It was extra weird when you were gone last week or 2 weeks ago, because I can hear your voice most in that clip. So, yeah. But yeah, so I had an exciting week. So, I finally was able to pay some stuff off after the house sold, and so I was able to treat myself a little. So good old Big Peps, or Scott Bradley, one of the Collecting Weekly Patreons out there.
Legends.
Awesome guy. He held on to this figure for me for a month, because Marco had reached out to be like, hey, I know you're looking for this Joker. Scott's got one for sale. Seems like a decent price. I reached out to him right away, and I basically said, like, dude, like, I'm right in the middle of essentially a divorce and a house sale and all of the things, and I totally understand if you want to sell this thing sooner, but if you happen to wait for a month, I will 100% buy it for you, from you. And he did. He saved
Such
it
a
for
good
me.
guy,
so
honestly.
Awesome dude. Gave me an amazing deal. He even paid for the shipping to get it out to me. So I paid $270 all in.
Wow.
Shipping.
Oh, let's go! That's class!
and normally I don't share the pricing, but like it felt like a friend deal for sure. Because I mean, I'd be paying upwards of 600, I think, now for this figure here in Canada, which would still be at least 400 in that neighborhood, anyways, US. So I mean, thank you, Scott, if you're listening. That was an amazingly generous deal, and he looks awesome on the shelf. I'm loving it with my Joker display behind me. So, and then my obviously Moon Knight came through. I was able to get this guy paid off, and I love the figure. I haven't had much of a chance to like pose it all that much yet, surprisingly. In hand, it is very, very clean. But I would say that, like, in the light box, especially with some photos, like, this is just taken on a pretty standard, like, cell phone camera. Like, I don't have, like, a fancy-ass camera by any stretch, and it looks fantastic. So, Collecting Weekly, Zach himself says, thanks for stepping up, guys. We love you, buddy. We miss you. Hope everything's okay. But, yeah, I've been loving this figure. So, if you guys have been considering getting the Moon Knight figure in hand, I would recommend it. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And so I got something new this week as well. Oh, no, actually, you got one more thing, Ben. Go for it.
Yeah, shout out to Lane Kramer. Lane recently sold his Venom figure and was able to part me out the head sculpt from the 2.0 version so that I could get the Eddie Brock head mixing with the Venom symbiote. And to be honest, it's elevated this figure for me. I always liked it, but most of my display is all kind of like movie realistic faces, right? Like actual actors. And the Venom to me always felt the most like a figure in my collection or a toy. With this head sculpt, it's elevated it to what feels like a much more like movie realistic representation of the character, and I'm loving it. And I gotta say, like, if you ever buy anything from Lane, he packs that thing more than more than what was necessary. I appreciated it, Lane, but it was like it looked like I got half of a hot toy shipped to me, and it was like the box was this big. But yeah,
amazing.
But thank you for making sure it was protected, Lane. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, great pickup. That Venom head is really incredible. I was kind of afraid of it being a bit oversized, maybe because the face is large, but it fits perfectly.
I actually think it almost feels undersized initially. When I first put it on, I thought that like Eddie Brock's face looked a little on the small side comparatively to how large the body is. But I'm getting used to it now that it's on there. So,
absolutely. We got Baby Boy in the house saying, here for the Ben Thomas show and his friends. How dare you? I am blocking you now that I've got the powers.
One last thing, Marco, I apologize.
Yeah, of course.
I did get the Spooderverse stickers.
Oh, let's see this. Okay.
From the Patreon channel, or like the member perks or whatever. Easily some of my favorite, if not my favorite sticker set from Collecting Weekly up to this point. These guys are so freaking cute and really, really well done. Really well printed, as well as the Zach's Wonderland shiny ass glitter sticker. So
very nice.
If you missed on these, I feel bad for you folks because these are awesome. Get yourself connected with the Patreon so you don't miss the cool swag.
Nice plug there. But yeah, I agree. This week this month's was especially strong. So in terms of what I got, let's see. Boom. There you go. So yeah, I had a nice little week. Okay, so I don't do the 1/12 scale very often, but was at Comic-Con, stopped by the Mezco booth, and they had a few exclusives. I think you could still get them online, but they had this Wolverine, and they also had the Green Power Ranger. Well, the Green Power Ranger was sold out, but this Wolverine was about $85, all in. And, it's kind of a lot for a 1/12 scale figure, but I didn't buy anything else while I was at the show, and I kind of wanted something to remember it by. And so this is the representation of Wolverine I would want. Totally. Comes with 3 different heads, and it's pretty badass. So cool, it definitely had me kind of scrolling through to see what other Mezco stuff there was in terms of X-Men. But Dean, do you have any Mezco at all?
No, I was an idiot, and I used to be super against Mezco.
Wow.
Yeah, I just thought, for another $100, get a Hot Toys. Mezco are kind of lame. But they've released some bangers that I was like, oh, okay, all right. They've definitely released some misses. Mm-hmm. I was just about to say, I believe they did a Cyclops, and the light up function is horrendous. So
oh, really? Okay.
Just be careful. It's like the whole head turns red. It's really bad.
Oh my! All right.
But yeah, I by the time I got into Mezco and wanted to get figures I didn't get, they were like way too much. So I don't have any Mezco. So. But I have since come around on Mezco. I do like them, so okay. This is cool.
putting out some quality stuff. How
Especially
about you,
that
Ben?
that classic Wolverine. I mean, you can't go wrong with the yellow and blue. Like, even me as like a non X-Men fan, it's iconic as shit, and it always looks cool.
When I saw that in the Green Ranger, I was like, this is designed for me. Like, they are playing to my era for sure. So had to get one of the two.
You had the 3-0 Ranger, didn't you?
I have the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger. So yeah, I've got a few
you
Rangers
still have
already.
them.
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I thought maybe you had gotten rid of him. So
No, not yet. So how about you, Ben? Have you gone down the Mezco route at all?
I thought about it because I honestly think it was Eddie at one point had the Mezco Thor. I could be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure it was Mezco, and that was an awesome looking figure. I've seen these though. I kind of feel the way that Dean was saying he used to feel, which was at this price point, I would almost rather just save for a little bit longer and stick to the 6 scale. Yeah. Because I think they're cool. I think I'd almost dilute both collections from trying to do both. I'd rather just try and stick to the one line, and 6 scale is my jam. I like it, but as a pickup, like if you're at a con, I know that feeling where you're like, okay, just like an event, just to have a memory to bring home with, like that's me in a nutshell. So yeah, like I would have done the exact same thing if this was the only thing that was tickling the fancy. This is a great pickup from a con buddy for sure. So
thanks, bro. Yeah, so really happy to add that one, and then finally added the Dark Troopers. So really great figure. Mostly plastic, I think, as most know. I think it has some die-cast joints, but yeah, really looks great. I'm going to be pairing him with Moff Gideon, so yeah, really happy to add both of those. But
I always felt very underwhelmed by the Dark Trooper, to be honest, like when the solicitation photos came out. Mm-hmm. But then I saw it at a local comic store in person, and I was like, damn, that is a sweet figure. And immediately I was like, yeah, I kind of want that now. It's really nice, especially in hand.
And I picked this up for about 200, no, exactly 200 shipped. So, you know, when Sideshow was doing that big lot of like, you buy a bunch, you get one for a certain price, got in with Danny Lee, and so got this for $200.
You know what grinds, you want to hear something really quick that grinds my gears? So Sideshow was having that big sale, and I kept hearing all these people getting this free, not Captain America, what's her name?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, thank you. Everybody's getting this free Captain Marvel, and I was like, well, I could buy a figure tonight. Right? Like, there's lots of stuff on there that I want. So I was pricing out a War Machine, the remastered one, or like the remake version. I was looking at a couple other figures, and I finally decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put one in the basket. It showed the Captain Marvel in the basket for free. I went to click through. It was 1:00 in the morning, and I missed it by 2 minutes. All of a sudden, my basket got error coded. They took the deal off. And I lost, so I didn't buy either figure. I was like, oh, well, screw it. Then I'll just wait. I don't need this one tonight. I was just trying to get myself a free figure, basically.
They may have
and I missed it by minutes. But like, I was up for a whole weekend. I just dragged my ass and then missed it by minutes.
Yeah, people were taking the figure out of their cart.
Crazy.
Like, I don't even want it for free.
Wow.
They literally can't give that figure away.
That's wild, because I didn't hate that character. But enough about what we got. Let's move on to Hot Seat. So in terms of the summer showcase predictions, we've broken it out a little bit more because there's certain figures that are already up for pre-order. I think you get a point then. And then if it's just an announcement but no pre-order, we're kind of denoting that you're on the borderline here. So Dean is in the lead right now. He's got both the Miles and Peter Parker Spider-Man both up for pre-order. And then the Indiana Jones hasn't gone up yet. So he's got a point pending whenever that finally goes up. But it's questionable. Point pending right there. So up second. And this is, speaking of questionable, so obviously with the symbiote suit, Zach's got a point. He's given himself a point for the Joker. I don't know. This is very obviously the Nurse Joker that he predicted. We're getting the purple coat up for pre-order here pretty soon. So
I'll have to go back and listen to the episode, because he might have said any Joker, but he'd prefer if it was the Nurse Joker.
You know what? We'll have to refine.
Because I think that was like the thing is like, well, they have to do something to like combat InArt, and I don't think they're gonna do the same Joker again, but they might. So
there you go.
I think,
I mean, if that's the logic, though, I should get a half point for saying Young Indiana Jones specifically when Indiana Jones' old version is technically announced.
For sure. We'll refine
the fight for that half point.
Well, that's what I said. I said either Indy.
You
'Cause
said
I was
either
like-
indie. I specified
Yeah.
young indie.
Oh
But-
yeah, no, because
Yeah.
my whole thing was everyone's been releasing Indiana Jones stuff, and we got a movie. There's no way we're not getting some kind of Indiana Jones something. So
There you go.
Okay.
Well, this is the pilot game. So when we revive it for future cons or whatever we do, we'll refine the rules a little bit. But so potentially 2 points for Zach there, but we'll see. Joker still isn't up for pre-order yet in any SKU, so still a point pending. And then with Ben Thomas, we've seen the John Wick figure, so that's probably coming. The Indiana Jones, maybe. Depends.
arguably the best John Wick figure we've ever seen.
Dude, no doubt, eh? It looks really good.
New
It
head
looks really good.
sculpt.
Yeah.
It's looking good, dude.
There you go.
Hannah was telling me today that she wants to watch the John Wick movies with me, and I'm like, I will totally watch the John Wick movies with you, so I can get you on board for getting this figure.
Okay.
You gotta
Yeah,
check it out.
the fourth one is up right now for on Amazon.
Gotta watch it again.
Right.
Well, Hannah's got to join us for movie of the week. We'll do one of the John Wicks.
Guest appearance.
That's right. So we've got Eddie, who again isn't unfortunately not on the show today, but the Moff Gideon they've teased, so we'll get there in a second, and then also this Flash with the 89 bat suit. Actually, this might be the 92, right? This might be the return suit that's repainted. So he's got some possible points here, and then with the big fat goose egg myself. I thought I was slick with this list, but it's not returning me any points right now. So
That's surprising,
bro.
It's surprising.
Because you went with the Iron Man, and something I was thinking to myself, they're gonna do the Mark 7, and then I was like, because I was gonna tell you to choose the Mark 7, but I was like, nah, they just came out with the Mark 7, and then they'd done some other cheeky thing. I was like, there's no way they're touching that figure again. And look, we're getting a fucking another Mark 7.
Right.
The same goddamn figures, like Jesus.
Yeah, I was ahead of my time with these predictions, but I will say, saw Oppenheimer. The possibility of a Scarecrow is getting higher and higher every day, so you never know.
What's his name? Gillian Murphy? He's people.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of movies, so
Absolutely.
I'm surprised we haven't
He's
gotten
awesome.
this figure.
He's pretty badass. So
He's got a
we
really
shall see,
unique
but-
face too. I'd be curious if he had one of those faces that's easy to sculpt or hard to achieve. Yeah.
The first movie I ever remember seeing him in is Red Eye, and he gave me the fucking crap.
I think it was for me. It was 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later would have been, because he's the guy in the coat and the nurse.
Oh, got it.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah. So Warner Brothers put out a documentary about the making of the Dark Knight trilogy. I guess he screen tested for Batman. You guys may know this already, but I just saw that recently. Thank goodness he was Scarecrow and not Bruce Wayne. The guy is a little bit too weird to to pull off the Bruce Wayne. But let's move on to some news now. Star Ace, everyone's favorite company, is teasing this Bruce Lee, Ben, not Jackie Chan figure. So, Dean, I'm going to go to you. We obviously know that Star Ace has had many misses, but are you intrigued by what you're seeing here? How are you feeling about this?
This isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, especially kind of from Star Ace, so that's already a huge step in the right direction. It's his iconic outfit, so that's cool to see. I feel like we've gotten Bruce Lee figures before. Have we?
I'm trying to think if there were licensed Bruce Lee figures. That might have been before I was in the game, so maybe someone in the chat can help us out.
Yeah,
But
they gotta be old, because I've definitely seen Bruce Lee's in people's collections, but I don't know if it's because they got a Bison body and then to a custom head or whatever.
custom or unlicensed, yeah.
I mean, Bruce Lee is just one of those. I was gonna say character, but icons. Really, you almost need him in the collection, because if you like movies, any kind of movies, he's your guy. So, I don't trust Star Ace.
Looks
this
like Hot
photo
Toys might have
again
made
isn't
one.
the worst thing I've ever seen, but I just don't trust Star Ace to do it properly.
So
is it the
we got a lot of Interbay.
DX04, I think, is the Bruce Lee from Hot Toys.
Oh, really? Okay. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's old. There's 04.
Yeah, DX04. So
there's just one thing I have to
Do
say.
your homework.
Yeah. So obviously we're coming up a little rough on this one, but yeah. So we're here in Enter Bay, And yeah, Ben, if you wouldn't mind looking up to confirm if Hot Toys ever did it, but how are you feeling about this at all? Are you intrigued?
You know what? I feel like it's not cool to say this, but I'm just not as much of a Bruce Lee fan as many people are. I think I just missed that generation of films up to a certain extent. I know you said this isn't Jackie Chan as a joke. I would prefer a Jackie Chan figure though, because
that'd be incredible.
Jackie Chan was
honestly.
a huge aspect of my childhood. I used to watch Jackie Chan movies with my dad all the time. So that would be a figure I would way more consider. Bruce Lee, while I think some of his movies are good, I feel like I just never had the same level of fandom with him. So.
Chuck Norris, dude.
My grandma used to love Chuck Norris. She would watch Walker, Texas Ranger all the time, and she's just like a little old lady.
Fucking awesome.
So,
yeah, it's awesome.
I'll share my screen really quickly if you want.
All right,
there.
thanks, Ben. Let me see this.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I envision with the blue pants. Okay.
So this is the Entry Bay of the Hot Toys?
This is the Hot Toys DX04.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Well, it's still holding up.
Not great pictures, but
yeah,
it's not seamless. It's got joints at the arms.
Okay.
It's got a lot of different hands.
That's probably why it's holding up so well.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got Jumbo. Look at that.
Jumbo.
That's amazing. So yeah, so definitely, maybe it's one that Hot Toys revisits, or InArt's been trying to do all these icons, right? That's kind of their thing. So I wouldn't be shocked if a Bruce Lee was coming. Undoubtedly, there are going to be potentially better options than Star Ace. Until they prove that they can give us a decent figure, we probably have to keep doubting them. But next up, we've got this Wonder Woman. So this was a Warner Brothers 100-year exclusive. Went up on Sideshow, like very limited. Sold out extremely quick. We're starting to see, we've seen the blogger photos, and we're starting to see what the hair actually looks like in the shipper box. And so, Dean, I want to get your take. How are you feeling about how this one came out, how the packaging is all working together?
Is this tied to a specific movie or is it just Wonder Woman?
This is just supposed to be a definitive version of Wonder Woman. I don't know if it said the previous film or not, but yeah, I think it's
on the
just
show sheet it said Wonder Woman
Woman
84. I was like, I don't think that's right. But I mean, honestly, I think it looks fucking good. I had the first Wonder Woman from BVS. Love that figure.
Nice.
I just
and that one had the rooted hair as well, yeah?
It did. I sold it because there was just so many Wonder Women on the market that I was like, I could pick and choose and maybe kit bash up one I really like. I kind of wish I had gotten this one because it's so good. Yeah, the little box that the head comes in, it's really tall for the length of the hair, but then the top of her head just butts into the top of the container anyway, which is kind of silly to me. It's like, isn't that kind of what you don't want to happen?
Even the InArt one had that piece in the back though that like stuck to the back of the head and like dented the hair, which it was kind of the same idea. It's like they go to so much effort to protect it and it's still dented.
They need something to make sure it doesn't pop out. And even then, some of these will come out undoubtedly.
I mean, honestly, I like this more than the InArt one just because of how big it is. But I mean, that's probably just because she has such long hair. I don't think Joker or Anakin are going to come with anything this size, but you want that separation of like, don't let anything touch the hair, But I think it looks fantastic. I honestly have no complaints about this. I think it looks really good.
Awesome.
Especially out of the box. I mean, I don't know if this guy futzed it at all, but goddamn.
I know I was skeptical. I was like, how is Hot Toys going to ship this? And it seems like they've come up with, something pretty nice. Ben, could you imagine if you got this figure and the sculpt was missing altogether? Like, what would you say?
So no head?
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. Yeah, pretty much. Totally the case. You know what's funny? With the Joker, I was nervous about the rooted hair, honestly. But it's the Joker. You can have a little bit of messed up hair. So when my second InArt sculpt wasn't like perfect, I still was like confidently, never having rooted hair before, like I'm going to stick some beard wax in this hair and tweak it a little bit. And it worked perfectly for me. This is the type of hair though that I'm like, ooh, if this doesn't come out pristine, like there's no way I'm ever going to make it look good ever again. And I have friends like Hannah that are a girl who could maybe help me, but like I would be so nervous to even touch it to mess it up, right? And it looks fantastic. So if it comes as good as we're even seeing in that one picture with the like the glass case for it. I think it's an absolute win. It's too bad that it ended up being hard to get for everybody that wanted it, but that's just the way it seems like collectibles are going lately. And in a way, it does make the chase a little bit more fun. When you eventually go to somebody's collection or see somebody's collection and they have some of these pieces that you may not have, it's still kind of cool to be like, that's a sweet collection right there. So,
and especially because you can get other versions of this character. Like Dean said, he had was it Justice League or BVS that you had? BVS, right? So that's a nice option. They just had the sculpted hair version from Wonder Woman 84. So you can get this character, but this particular version's just a bit tougher.
Yeah, I mean, I still got like 200 something bucks for my version of Wonder Woman. So there's definitely people want that old Wonder Woman. So I don't see that market going anywhere anytime soon, especially with the reset. It's like, when are we going to ever see another Wonder Woman at this point? So
Yeah.
I still kind of want the Wonder Woman 84 though. That does have the sculpted hair, but I
She's
like
awesome.
I like the oversaturation of the color in the outfit, and I think the body looks fantastic. Like that's one I think I'm gonna stick up beside my Christopher Reeve Superman, just like the color pops. This one, I think it was Jose G. Hernandez was saying this is most similarly, or most similar to the Justice League version. Outfit wise.
Well, they have that other version of her. It was an exclusive. Hold on.
You're talking about with the stars on the skirt?
Yeah, was it?
I think you mentioned this in the previous show when we looked it up, and I was like, oh, I actually didn't even realize that one existed. Because there's been a lot of iterations of this Wonder Woman.
Yeah, they've gotten their fucking use out of the sculpt with the outfit. Which honestly, kudos to DC for not changing it like movie to movie like all that much, because dear God, it's like that's almost like the problem with Star Wars. It's like every fucking episode the Mandalorian's outfit was different. It's like Jesus. There's no like definitive version, but Wonder Woman, you could almost buy any version of her and it's like good to go.
Absolutely. So
I think I'd
Jose
only want
Hernandez.
Yeah, the Comic-Con.
Go ahead, Ben.
Thank you.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I was gonna say I think I'd only want one version of her though, to be honest. So I would try to hunt down what I thought or felt was that definitive edition, which I didn't love the '84 film, but I liked the look of the outfit. So and I liked the fact that I wouldn't have to worry about hair. So yeah,
Absolutely. And I will say one aspect of this that people are pointing out is that the way the hair, the woolen hair is attached to the sculpt, there's like a really noticeable hairline that's not so great. So we got to see some more data, but so far it seems like Hot Toys has taken the Golden Armor Wonder Woman sculpt and kind of reverse engineered to have woolen hair. And so it's not like from the ground that they designed this figure. So it feels like there's a few shortcuts. So it's premium, but it's not quite all the way there.
Yeah, pull up. I just posted the comic concept ones in the private chat. The hair, dude, it's like night and day. When you look at it next to this, it's like, oh shit. Like, this looks like a toy, whereas this one looks proper. It's kind of weird. It's not until you look backward that everything's changed.
for sure.
Yeah, this is
like,
definitely
it's
the
like,
that Barbie
Rooted looks
hair,
just as good, and then you look back, you're like, oh my god.
Absolutely.
Cool.
But this version next to Reeves would be badass.
That would look
to
good.
be
Yeah,
honest.
I love this
Otherwise?
costume.
With the stars on the skirt, it's cool.
Yeah,
It's
this is the
long gone,
badass
though.
version. They would have made this version like inspired by this. Unfortunately, they've given us something good, but it could have been great. It could have been great. So let's move on now to the Symbiote Spider-Man here. Pull this up again. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit bummed that I missed that one, but not devastated from what I've seen. Okay, so the Symbiote Spider-Man, a bit of controversy. When Sideshow put this up, they had the release date as October of this year through, I think it was early, like first quarter next year. On Hot Toys website, they did have Q4 of next year, and Sideshow just updated this to now show July 24 through December 24. So it's kind of their standard window for figures that are releasing now. I know I'm personally a bit disappointed though. This is one that I pre-ordered. I was like, okay, it's coming soon. It's kind of like a Toy Fair exclusive in that they're going to turn it around very quickly. And that's not going to be the case more than likely. So, Dean, is this one disappointing at all? Is it kind of, upsetting that, maybe there were some wires crossed?
Yeah, because we're so used to that year-long time frame that it's so nice when we get surprised with like, hey, it's coming out in a couple months. Like, got you guys. And that happens, it does happen, but it's so rare. But when this one popped up, it's like, damn, October? Like, that's real soon. It's a figure that people are real eager to be getting.
It's going to come the same time as the video game, potentially. Like, that's pretty cool synergy.
Like, this thing is going to be hyped as hell. But, yeah, that's a little disappointing. But, I mean, that's not the end of the world. It sucks, but...
I want my doll, and I want it now, okay?
That's fair. You know what? I was a little bummed, but also just still a little confused because I take a look at my payment plan option for this figure with Sideshow, and it's still showing that the first payment is scheduled for literally this coming month, and through to December of 2023. So, like, if they've changed the date, I'm surprised we haven't had direct messaging from Sideshow. Or like, is it certain people, or like they just haven't caught up yet, or like what is the messaging here? Because they just kind of changed it. It didn't say anything. And as I said, as of this coming month, I will have already made my first payment. But if I can kick that out a year, I will. Like, I would just be happy to sit on the NRD and start the payment plan in 2024. Like, it's not one I feel like I need to have paid off and have my money sitting in the Sideshow bank account. I'd rather have that access to that funds this year for other figures and stuff. So if they don't do any messaging, I intend to reach out to their customer service to see if they'll confirm it, A, and B, if they do confirm it, will they push that payment plan to next year?
Absolutely. And I would assume they'd make it right, but it really makes you wonder, who do they have, working over there? Like, what are they doing?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Yes.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm just trying to play all the greatest hits right now. That's my crutch currently.
We gave Marco access to the buttons, and now he's playing all the buttons.
Terrible idea. Exactly. I'm pressing all the freaking buttons.
Zach never stops to ask himself if he could do it. What's the Jurassic Park quote?
Should he never stop to think if he could do it, or it was something if he should do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, incredible. Yeah, so overall, this is, again, one that I'm disappointed that it got pushed back. I can wait. It's fine. There's so much other stuff coming out. But I was excited that there was going to be a quick turnaround. But it sounds like, for the other figures, it might be the case. So Hot Toys, when I say other figures, the Anakin and the Joker that were rooted, right? There's a quicker turnaround there. But Hot Toys was at a few different shows. So they were at HKACG. So AnyCon Hong Kong is what Shuao told me to say to sound cool. But they were also at China Joy. Work. So yeah, I never sound cool. But so I'm going to flip through some pictures of the Anime Con. And then there's a really cool hype video that they put up for both of them, for the Hong Kong show and the China show. But I'm going to save the China show, China Joy hype video for next week. So we can kind of go through that. We can see a lot of the prototypes and different angles that we've seen teased from before, but let's flip through some of these and then kind of want to go through some of the highlights. So Dean, I want to start with you in terms of the Joker and the Anakin, which I mentioned were for sale at this show. I know there's some controversy about Hot Toys adding some additional availability of both of these. I think they added like 100 more. So we don't know if they're pulling from different stock that was supposed to go to another region, or if they're just adding more. Who knows what they're doing? And without them being numbered, we're never really going to know. But so how do you feel about these after getting, a better look at them?
I'm so sick of looking at any version of the Joker. It's not even funny. So I guess it looks good. Like, it's fine. If you're on the fence between this or InArt, I think if you end up with either, you'll be fine. Like, honestly, I don't think one is infinitely greater than the other. As for the Anakin, dude, I'm so hot and cold with this thing. Sometimes it looks so fucking fantastic that I can't believe it.
Looks so good right here.
Yeah, and then other times I see it, I'm like, ugh. Like, what kind of nappy-headed hoe shit is this? Like,
Jesus, cancel.
It looks bad in a lot of photos, and I can't make up my mind either way. Like, what if I like it or not?
Yeah.
But, you know, am I on the wait list for one? Yes.
On the wait list already for the Anakin, you're saying?
Not the wait list. The
RSVP list. Okay, all right. You had me shocked. I was like, you may have gotten scammed there, but
you may have gotten scammed.
Somebody, I put the bat signal out on Will's stream on Friday. I was like, hey, if anybody wants one of these things, and you know, they want me to RSVP with them, I'll do it. So
nice.
I got on the RSVP list, but I don't actually have any intention of buying this Anakin. I have the first one that came out, and I'm very happy with it. And I don't think rooted hair is going to make the figure that much greater to own. In fact, it'd probably make it worse because you're going to have to, you know, deal with rooted hair. So yeah. I'm fine with my Anakin, but you know, if some people out there miss those Anakins, they weren't collecting when they were out, so this is cool for them to get a chance to get it. And it's different enough and keeps the collectability of the original one still intact. So yeah, it's I have almost no problems with it, other than sometimes it looks good, sometimes it don't.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. How about you, Ben? You feeling any differently about these?
The Joker, I do feel a little differently. So I posted a video, this or that video on the Ben Thomas Show regarding this Joker, right, with a large hands, this Joker or the InArt Joker. Just to see what people would say, and I gave my takes on it, and it was a very well-received video, so I appreciate all the great comments that people left me. But now I'm seeing these photos, and I think that the outfit for the Joker definitely looks more weathered than the promo pics did for it, and I like the look of both the rooted hair more, and I really like the sculpted hair version of it. This version doesn't seem to have as sunken in of eyes as the InArt Joker. Some people have brought that to my attention, so I've been looking a little closer, and it's like, didn't really notice that before. Kind of like Dean said to me, though. I feel like if you get any of these Jokers, whether you have the InArt or you have the Hot Toys, I feel like my personal current preference is still my InArt, but I have it in hand, and I spend a lot of money for it. So it makes me a bit of a biased opinion in that sense. I think they're both objectively really great figures, and this tease, seeing this figure in person, even the body. At first with the solicitation photos, I thought that Heath looked more square in those pictures and like more broad than he kind of appeared in the film. He was a big guy and a broad dude, but he was hunched as the Joker, and he had a very noticeable hunch to him as the character that I felt wasn't being very well represented in those first Hot Toys solicitation pictures. This shows that a little bit more to me. I'm bored with them making this figure, though. Yeah. I feel like it was their opportunity to come out with a better smiling head sculpt, or really truly sit on the InArt for a while and polish what they did well, and somehow make that one much better, reclaim the kingdom or the crown, right, of being the best Joker maker out there. And I feel like while this is really excellent, it's not necessarily better. It just depends on which one you like. I'm going to stick with my InArt. I don't intend to buy the Hot Toys one, even though I have warmed up to it. I don't need 3 Jokers in my collection. For the Anakin, I've been consistently impressed by this Anakin. And so I don't have an Anakin in hand, and I still kind of expect that we're going to see a dark side Anakin at some point once all these are gone.
Oh, it's coming.
And I think if I were going to commit to an Anakin, I would rather have a dark side Anakin than the light side Anakin. In my opinion, I've got the Darth Vader from the Kenobi show coming, where it's got the split mask. I think it would be cool to see like the dark side Anakin next to the Vader, like what he truly like becomes next. I think that would be a cool display. Anyways, but
true.
Still, objectively, once again, it looks fantastic. Price point felt a little high too. It was a deterrent for me, honestly.
Yeah. So you disagree with that? Waiting for the dark side Anakin, Dean?
Oh, yeah, I mean, how much time have we got?
I've got it.
It's just one of those things that's like me being over analyzing Star Wars fan.
For sure. So 2 things I want to walk back a little bit. Not all the way, but just a little bit. Number 1, I said Hot Toys really can't be trusted with the rooted hair. I think after seeing what they're doing with the Wonder Woman, I'm warming up to it. I think that they could release some really nice products. Is it quite there yet? No, we kind of mentioned some of the potential shortcuts they've taken. But I think that these two look really nice from this prototype. I'm still very anxious about the final product, but I'm getting more warm to the idea of the woolen hair. What are you going to say, Ben?
I trust it more because they're limited edition numbers. I think if this was mass production, no limit, it's just pre-order until your heart's content, and we'll make them all. I'd feel worried about what the routing will look like en masse. But I think with them doing these smaller scale, limited, kind of edition releases, they've got more time to commit. Because even 3,000 figures, can you imagine having to route 3,000 figures? Like, the sheer amount of time that would take for a team of people would be insane, as well as QC and all of the things that go into it. They have to keep them limited if they're going to continue to do the artisan editions with these specially rooted hairs, I'd say.
Completely agree. Yeah, so they really have made a smart decision by keeping it limited, focusing on quality. So I'm getting there. And then the other thing I was disappointed by was this version of the Joker. I said, Hot Toys, do a bank robber 3.0, do a nurse joke different. So you're not feeling like you're trying to answer InArt. Sorry, I might be spinning out over here, so apologies for that. But I kind of warming up to the sculpted version of this. I think the sculpted version could be pretty strong. So I'm considering getting another Joker. That would be my 4th purple coat Joker, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Were you guys able to hear everything I said?
Most of it. You were a little kind of. Right. I thought maybe it was my internet, or like I was. Losing my blood pressure.
I was on Will's stream on Friday, and I said, if you're gonna buy one, whether it's InArt or Hot Toys, buy InArt, because Hot Toys failed at giving us a laughing sculpt. Like, how are there this many Jokers and only the DX11 has a laughing sculpt? Mm-hmm. From the Joker who laughs all the time? Yeah. Like, it's like, what? I'm gonna miss opportunity. Like, it just blows my mind that they kind of fumbled that hard. So, like, as punishment, buy the InArt.
Well, and like even the Jack Nicholson, the Jack Nicholson Joker I just got, right? Like, he's got a wicked smile as a character and just as an actor. But you only got one sculpt with that figure, and I'm glad it was a smiling sculpt, because to me that is very iconic Joker, like Dean's saying. So.
Totally. So let's flip through a few different pictures here. Stop me if there's anything of note that you want to talk about. If not, we're going to kind of get to the InArt stuff since we've got a lot to get through. So, so we saw the Moff Gideon in the Mandalorian outfit looking great. We saw the Prey Predator. A lot of folks were kind of concerned by these knee joints. Anything of note for this one, guys?
That's how all their Predators have been, so I don't know why anyone would be shocked that that's what it looks like. So... it's like, guys, hello.
No doubt.
Literally all looked like that. The Moff Gideon, I don't like it as much as I thought I was going to.
Dude, same.
Only because that undersuit looks like it's going to be a fucking pain in the ass. You ain't doing shit with this figure. You're not posing it with your Mando. That thing is going to be stiff as a board.
Totally. Yeah, this is kind of an underwhelming figure. Like, it should be really cool in theory, but you're feeling the same way, Ben?
I was feeling the same way. I thought when I first saw the show, I was like, that's going to make an amazing figure. And while there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, it isn't exciting me in the same way that I thought it would. Now, maybe that's also just a little bit of fatigue. I'm just past the show now. It had its cool moment. If you could have given us a pre-order when that show rolled credits, it probably would have got me a little faster. But for the Predator, though, I've never owned a Predator. So I wasn't too sure if all the joints were always present on those ones until I took a look back. And kind of like Dean said, it's what the rest of them look like. I think it's cool, but I'm not feeling like I need it yet. But I may eat those words when I start seeing people get this in their collections and posed up with other stuff. I can picture like a Loco Lou out there making some amazing pictures and poses with something like this. So
yeah, I'm a kind of a stickler for screen accuracy and like having figures alone on the shelf. So like I couldn't even put this with like a City Hunter Predator or a Jungle Predator because they didn't share screen time. They're not in the same movie. So the fact that this guy is like solo, like I can't, put him with another character figure is kind of like, there's no point in me getting it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Totally get that. Totally get that. So let's move on to a few other things we saw. We saw the Loki on Throne, and we saw the comic-inspired Iron Man. Any of these stick out to you guys?
One really quick thing, sorry, before you go, Dean. The Jam Fortnite in the chat says the Prey Predator isn't an upgrade over the NECA versions for cost increase. Some of the NECA Predators that exist out there are wicked figures. And so if you're a Predator fan, but you don't necessarily want to commit to all the 6-scale size ones, like, that's a cool little lineup of those
for
figures.
like $30, $35 maybe.
Some really good ones. And the box art on them is wicked.
I won one on a Small Talk giveaway. And it's one of the coolest things. That figure turned me around on NECA because I used to hate NECA.
Fair. Yeah.
And I got it. I was like, this is actually kind of cool. And then I started buying other NECA figures. I was like, damn, these things are actually badass because they used to have like terrible QC back in the day. But yeah, NECA's pretty cool when it comes to Predators because they make everybody. Dude, they make characters you fucking barely see on like a picture.
Legit,
from like
all the horror movie figures even and stuff. So many good ones.
Yeah, well, fuck NECA. But anyways, so so any of these of note at all?
Bro, that comic-inspired Iron Man, that's what people have been wanting, dude. This is it, dude. We had those weird clear ones that came out. No, this is what people have been waiting for. This is it.
Totally. Would you consider this at all, Ben? Yeah.
Not for me.
Not
for me,
all.
to be honest. I understand why people think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I used to watch the old school Iron Man cartoon, which is kind of what this even reminds me of, even though this is more comic inspired. I just don't like the ball joints for the legs. It takes me out of it. It makes it look like a bigger toy as opposed to like a person in the suit. Do you have a more like zoomed out picture of it, Marco?
Yeah.
You see kind of like where is like you can see like the balls literally. Not his balls, but like the balls of the legs at the hip. Well,
so
maybe this
is like every Iron Man figure. You can see that.
But this is the same thing. I'm able to hide that so well with my Mark 7. Like you can't see that in my Mark 7.
Just needs to be futz, his legs
maybe
facing.
This is the same thing with the Wonder Woman though, where they're taking a product that they had designed for one use and they're converting now to something different. And it's nice that they're giving us that different thing, but it's not designed for that specifically. So you're seeing the shortcuts there. So yeah, it's cool that they're giving it to us, but hopefully they do some work on it because I agree. Could be better. So the Mark 7 suit up looks awesome. The sculpt looks great. That Latino ass Tony Stark, but I think once we got a better look at it, looks better. We saw the Indy and the John Wick.
Looked a little like he was a little like a kind of an alcoholic to me. This is
well,
really
that's Tony
gaunt.
Stark. Come on, bro.
Tony Stark is one.
I mean,
come on, bro.
It's rough. I don't know. Like,
come on, man. Know the character if you wouldn't mind. Jeez. But you know what?
Fuck it though, bro. It's your life.
You're fucking mean.
Yeah, I'm a bad man. So we've got the Indiana Jones and John Wick. You guys want to talk any more about this John Wick at all?
Oh, dude, the only complaint I have about this John Wick is the hair begs to be in a dynamic pose, which is fine for John Wick, who's a very dynamic character. But I mean, you're kind of like only limited to that. Because even like walking all calm like this, it looks weird.
It's just got some bounce.
That head sculpt is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. This lighting is terrible. They had it on another one, and it looks so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what booth that was. But I was like, damn, that looks amazing. I haven't seen John Wick 4, so I don't know who Kane is.
I personally think this looks worse than the previous John Wick, but I think I'm alone in that opinion.
Surprising. I think this is by far the best one. For sure. Somebody said here, I was surprised they didn't go rooted, Sunnyvale Russ. I'm glad they're not. Like, I feel like figures like this, I'm good with sculpted hair. And he did have a little bit of a bounce to his hair like this in the film. Like, even with like some subtle like walking through the rain kind of scenes, like it's got some bounce to it as he's walking. So
he's a spoiler, bro.
I can see it. I can see it. Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on.
Bad
from
did
this
spoilers this last week.
How are you guys feeling about this piece right here? This is one that definitely intrigues me. I would absolutely consider adding this, depending on the price.
Really? Do you even like the original trilogy?
Oh, bro, I'm all about the original trilogy. I grew up with the original trilogy.
Really? Let me see your figure shelves.
Bro, I've got 2 different collection rooms, first of all, but I'll put up, if you want to gatekeep, I'll send you a shot of all my collection.
No, I'm not gatekeeping. I'm just like, when I'm thinking of your collection, it's all like new stuff.
Look, I'm just reaching right behind me. Is this new? Is this from the OT, or is this, I forget, or is it from that show?
Oh,
anyways,
you should have flexed at the same time. I'm like, oh, yes. Right. Look at this figure.
But if you want to gatekeep. Anyways,
I'm not gatekeeping. Well, I'm just surprised that you would add this. That's crazy.
It's the size of a big house cat. I don't know.
This is like the size of Kevin or
yeah.
Pancake, dude.
It's Pancake's new friend right here. Exactly.
Don't need to feed it though, which is nice.
Yeah, I love dewbacks as much as the next guy. I wouldn't add this just in terms of pricing and where I'm gonna put it. It's cool and I would love it, but I just can justify it. Yeah.
It's a space hog for sure. How about you, Ben?
I mean, seeing these solicitation or these photos, not the solicitation, but like we saw the teases a couple weeks ago and they were kind of a zoomed out picture. Seeing these up close, I do have a greater appreciation for the skin texture and the paint apps. Like, I think it looks wicked. But I've been considering still getting the DeLorean because I had canceled that order. And I think I really only have room in my current display setup for one 6-scale vehicle. And this would be like committing to a 6-scale vehicle. So do I like the dewback more than a DeLorean? No.
No chance.
So I wouldn't buy this. But I think it's awesome. And for the folks who are going to put it in their collection, I hope they do it because people have been asking for creatures, especially from films like Star Wars, for a long period of time. Well, Star Trek too. I'm just saying.
Wow.
But
you better gatekeep him.
I get canceled. People have been asking for it though, and obviously people want the Tauntaun, which would be I think even bigger than this.
That'd be incredible.
Sideshow's done a dewback and they've done a Tauntaun. It's time for them to be revisited. I think.
I would have preferred to see a Jabba the Hutt, like a new Hot Toys Jabba the Hutt, I think, because they had the Sideshow one of that too. I know it didn't sell very well back in the day, but now it's like impossible to find.
That was a really well done figure though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jabba would be pretty sweet.
I could see myself putting a Jabba in the collection.
I don't think
I agree.
As much as I love Jabba, I don't think I would.
No, he's so cool. He's got so much presence.
If he was in your collection, what would he sound like though, Dean? Yes. Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, Jabba would be about the same like length as this guy, like tail to nose, and probably almost the same height, at least up until like that little saddle.
Especially if he was sitting on his little platform or something.
Yeah. So the new Jabba would be pretty sweet. But in terms of dewback, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be real nitpicky here. The dewbacks, you see them for like a half second in the original theatrical version of Star Wars, and they're like a poster cutout in like the background. It wasn't until the 90s with the CGI upgrades that they added like dewbacks walking around and shit. So like even to me, I don't watch those versions of Star Wars. I watch the original, like untouched. You know, Zach and I have talked about it 1,000 times on the show before. So like I don't even have that like deep connection for a dewback.
You just need like a
I know why
cardboard
people would, and it is very cool, but that's also another reason why I wouldn't drop that kind of money on it, you know.
Sure. Look, I think the scale is an interesting thing though. Like seeing that figure up on the dewback, that looks like a 7-inch figure, you know, or less, like a 3.
Yeah, okay. Perfect example.
Insane.
Black Series did this. I bought the Black Series when it was like $60. Like, that's cool enough. Like, I'd like the dewback enough to spend $60.
Yeah.
And as big as it is in 12 scale, there's just no way. I mean, that would take up my whole fucking desk.
Well, we will revisit this conversation when they formally announce this one, hopefully very soon, and we know the price. Because
you think they're gonna do it?
I don't know. You know, you never know with Hot Toys, but I think they're going to do it.
What do you think the odds are?
I would say 80%. Honestly, they're
Really?
backing on some vehicles. This is, you know, they did the blurg. This couldn't be that complex for them to manufacture.
They did the
So
blurg. That's a good point. Because I was going to
it's
say,
coming.
they have a really bad track record of doing Star Wars like vehicles, but they gave us the ARC or the ARF, the bike.
Yeah, they're doing more of them.
Those are recent.
The speeders, all the different speeders.
The new speeders from the Mandos.
Yeah.
So you're right. That's a good point, dude.
I'm feeling it, but we'll see. Hopefully, very soon. So let's. And this is one that they've been teasing for many years. This one's probably not coming, but we could dream.
I don't know why they wouldn't. It's so easy.
You would think, honestly, and you've got the Han Solo in disguise that you could easily pose with
What
that.
would this figure be called though? Like Random Computer Tech 3 or something?
I'm forgetting what they sold. Yeah, I think they just said Death Star Trooper is what he was called.
No, they have a. Their name is actually crazy, and you when you hear it, you think like something cool, like a black stormtrooper, but then it's just this guy.
But this isn't a likeness of somebody specific from the film, right? This is just like generic character in station. I think so.
It seems like it. Yeah. So
let us know if anybody knows in the chat.
There we go. So the
is
7,
a real person.
That's right. 7-pack is confirmed. So I think Dean owns Ben one of these from the what I recall here. So
I'm surprised I didn't
confirmed.
add the Guardians to my predictions. That would have been an easy point.
Honestly,
considering.
you could have. The League of Legends, another What If Iron Man there. We get to see the Spider-Man 2 video game figures up close and personal. This MODOK, so weird. I don't know that they make this one, but very interesting that they decided to make a prototype.
It's growing on me. I honestly would consider it. If you can take all the weaponry off and just have him kind of sitting there, I think that would be a really freaky.
The whole selling
awesome
point
figure.
is the fucking artillery.
I wouldn't want. It's too big. That going back to space, and the selling point to me is that you're basically getting a 1/3 real person's head jammed in that helmet on the desk.
Crazy.
It's so weird.
That was so badly done, dude.
It's funny to me that this looks better than the CGI rendering in the actual movie.
You're not wrong.
That CG didn't look terrible though, but 12-inch Moose Stream is saying we need a bantha, and to that I say,
like a bantha. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
All right, someone take this control away from me immediately. So let's finish up here with the Spider-Man 2099. So obviously we made a big hoopla on the show about folks were calling it an oversized Marvel Legends, all the exposed joints, Hot Toys regrouped, and they've given us this prototype. Ben, I'm going to start with you. Is this something that would convince you now to add this after having seen the film, seeing this prototype? Would you maybe chase this one now?
I liked your show the other day that was called All the Wrong Answers or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the wrong answer here is, well, now he's not going to be as posable. We went from like the most posable possible figure to he's not going to be posable worth shit. But I do think this is a huge visual improvement. If I were going to buy from the Spider-Verse line, this would 100% be a consideration. But I'm trying to stick to the movie realistic and not the animated style. So I'll pass even still, but this is, I think, a huge win for the folks who wanted this character.
Absolutely. What are you feeling about this one, Dean?
It looks miles better than the original one we saw.
This isn't miles. This is 2099.
Shut up. I will die on the hill that this figure is, with all its articulation flaws, is still a better figure than having it without the suit on. That's the whole point of this scale and this line. To have it any other way is bananas. So, yeah, I think this looks infinitely better. I don't love the character, so I was never gonna get this anyway. I like the movie. I thought it was a great movie. I don't love the movie, so I don't like. I was never gonna have them in this scale, but I bought the figure arts, and I'll own the figure arts $20.99. But again, it kind of goes back to the Dewback thing. Like, I like them about $50 worth, not 230, 50.
You got to love it, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely.
it looks infinitely better.
Yeah, so this is one I'm really happy about. I went back and pre-ordered once they announced that they're going to redo this because I loved the film, love this design of Spider-Man. It had no connection to the comic necessarily, but really excited to add this one. So obviously with Oscar Isaac voicing him as well was another reason for me to add it. So good on Hot Toys for putting together something really nice after whatever horrendous thing they put out before. So like I mentioned, Hot Toys was also at China Joy. They showed a lot of different prototypes. We can cover that next week. Hot Toys is asking for folks to let them know what InArt Harry Potter figures they want to see. I think we can probably skip over this one, but interesting that they're still in the soliciting feedback stage.
Well, you said Hot Toys is asking what
Oh,
other
you know,
figures InArt?
excuse me. InArt is asking what other Harry Potter figures they should be doing.
They should make. Okay.
There you go.
I was like,
Wow.
wait. I was like, are they
Mixing
trying to
up.
sneak the license? I was like, some corporate
Yeah.
espionage shit.
Sorry, was mixing up some stuff there, but yeah, let's just breeze past this one. Loki season 2 trailer as well. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was an incredible trailer. MCU is back.
I have not seen it.
You haven't. Okay, so maybe let's talk about this one next week as well. MCU is back officially, baby. And I will say we get a shot of Kang as well. So I forget the name of like that variant, what his name is, but we get one little brief shot. So he's still going to be a part of the story.
Did you watch Ant-Man 2 or Ant-Man Quantum?
Yeah, with the post-credit, exactly. So that version.
Is it that one? Okay, cool.
It's that one. Yeah. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
it looks incredible. Oh my gosh, cannot wait for that one. So Dean, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell the folks about the 3,000 subscriber giveaway sponsored by Collector Zone?
Yeah, I mean that was basically it. we got a 3,000 subscriber giveaway on Collecting Weekly, guys. We're I think we're something like 34 people away, 34 subscribers away from 3,000. So when we hit 3,000, we're gonna be giving away a Hot Toys Carnage, sponsored by Collector Zone. So huge shout out to them. And we'll do it live on air, and you have a chance every week. Oh, we should come up with a bonus code. What's tonight's bonus code?
Ben, what's tonight's bonus code?
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba
Wow,
the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt. All one word, huh? Jabba
All
the
one
Hutt.
word.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Somebody make sure to tell Zach what the bonus code was, and that Ben didn't pick something nice for Zach.
Yeah, what a dick.
He picked Jabba the Hutt instead of We Miss Zach. What a guy.
Oh, is that the opportunity? I hate to see it.
Oh, man. Thank you for that, Dean. And do you have any additional details, or should folks just go to the Facebook group and find the pin post to find all these specifics?
Yeah, we have a
about this?
pin post. You could once you go in there, you put in the whatever bonus codes we say, and it automatically tracks them for you. And then we'll do a, I guess one of those spinny wheel random picker thing. And hopefully Equan doesn't win this time. He's won like fucking 12 of them.
I was gonna say my burner account must be getting up there in points now. So
wow.
excited.
Better not, Ben.
Jam Fortnite is saying, LOL, what's the point of showing a slideshow and then not talking about it till next week? Well, we had a really long show today, so we've got a hard stop in about 20 minutes. So we're going to have to defer to next week because we still have a whole InArt showcase to talk about. So that's the reason why. But, just tune in for next week. Got to keep you wanting more. So with that, let's talk about InArt being at China Joy. They had a beautiful showcase. Now, the way that they've decided to display these figures, backdrop, really similar to how they shipped the Joker, the same kind of texture on the base. I don't know what it stands for or what it's really supposed to mean in terms of the InArt brand, but it definitely feels premium. So I'm going to start here with the Batman. I'll flip through a few pictures. Ben, what did you feel about this? Are you considering this InArt Batman at all after seeing all these pictures?
Well, so I already have the InArt premium Batman on order through 1/6 Kit. So, but I did go with the sculpted hair version, just because honestly, I don't really think I'll pose him up with the Bruce Wayne head sculpt all that much. The Pattinson sculpt will likely kind of sit in the box, or I'll make my own Kit Bash Bruce Wayne at some point, like he's getting out of the shower and still about to take his makeup off, something cool like that. So, Batman in a bathrobe. But no, I've already got the figure on order, so I am excited to see that it looks quality. I'm stoked for it.
And awesome. How are you feeling about this Batman, Dean?
It looks fucking good. I'm still not sold on the rooted for this particular character. Like, it does look good, but like, I don't think the sculpted one looks like worse.
This
like,
is the one you could get away with the sculpted as well, right? Because more than likely you're going to pose it with this awesome cowl on anyways.
Right? Like, that's the... Yeah, like maybe the Bruce Wayne, I could see why you would want to go rooted, but even then it's like you don't have to. But the Batman in particular, I mean the suit is what you're here for, right? I'm not putting an unmasked sculpt on my Batman. So this all looks fantastic. I am really liking what I'm seeing. I still don't know if I like it more than Hot Toys. Just in terms of, like what I'm going to spend on it. So it's still kind of up in the air for me at this point.
I'm really excited to see the Hot Toys next to this one, though. Like when somebody like a Justin's collection at some point, or does like a true comparison. I'm excited to see what that looks like, because I thought that like classic Loki that we'd seen with the So-So Toys version was amazing, and then seeing even the Hot Toys one next to that, I was like, holy crap! There's bigger differences there than I expected. I'll be curious. I'll have the same reaction. Six Guns Fig says, had the sculpted ordered day one and just ordered the rooted. I'm all in on that guy.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Really
That's
cool.
awesome.
And Joe Moore is saying, does anybody have this up for pre-order still? I think Spec Fiction and 1/6 Kit may both have them up for pre-order. Various versions, though. I don't know if all the SKUs are up, but you should be able to find at least one or two of them up there. So, and then Sean Foster's asking, do we know when the next InArt release will happen? I don't think John has been really explicit about when the exact release is going to come out. I think the next one is Gandalf for sure. And then I think Pennywise, but within the next few months. So I think they've got the final working prototypes or samples, excuse me. So yeah, I think that they should be coming out here very soon. But when it comes out in China versus when it comes out or shipped to us in the United States, could be a while. So hopefully very soon. So let's move on to this Superman. Okay, so this is one, the initial tease, we were all very skeptical. It looks pretty soft. I think the more that I've seen of this sculpt, specifically the two sculpts, it looks a lot better. The serious sculpt, still not quite there, but the angry sculpt is pretty badass. The body needs to be beefed up though. But overall, I think this is a pretty nice offering that will pair pretty beautifully with that BVS Batman whenever they do that, hopefully. So, Dean, how are you feeling about this one?
I have been in the market for a Superman for the longest time. And it's like a new one will be announced, and it's like, I could go back and get the old one, and then it's like, oh, don't get that one because it's not as accurate, and then the new one comes out, and then the new movie gets announced, and it's like, I'll just wait for that one, and then so next thing I know, I'm still without a Superman. This is looking pretty good. With as soft as the like base head sculpt is, it's still undeniably Henry Cavill. Like, it's pretty good. I like, even on like a scale of 1 to 10, this is still like an 8. It's like, it's not like it's terrible. It's like he's like a few years too young. He's like 18 instead of like 25. You know what I mean? It's like
very supple.
Yeah. But the laser eyes sculpts, bro, that's a shrink rate 10 out of 10 like I've never seen before. Especially when you get someone doing something really emotive, you kind of lose a lot of likeness.
Especially
right?
Hot Toys normally does,
seen,
right?
Like, yeah, and even something as simple as smiling, like that Paul Rudd sculpt, it's not good. But like a grimace, I mean, that's tough. So for them to show this and it look as good as it does, I mean, it's kind of unreal.
They teased a grimace as well. That's wild. All right, I'm going to stop here.
How dare you?
Stupid.
Yeah, so I'm pretty tempted to pick up the Superman. I know we're probably going to get a new Superman here in the next few movies or whatever, but I love Cavill as Superman. I think it's a travesty they're getting rid of him, so I think this might be the figure for me. I think I waited for the right thing.
Heck yeah. And I will just say, we haven't seen a rooted hair version of the Superman. Likely we're not going to get it, though, given this hairstyle is pretty...
Yeah,
it would need to mimic, like, sculpted, basically. So, but how are you feeling about this one, Ben?
I feel like I've got a divisive opinion, because the initial sculpt, the serious-looking sculpt, or, like, the friendly-looking sculpt, I don't really see that as Henry Cavill. I think to me, it feels more like and I know this is ridiculous maybe to say to some folks, I think it's like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 if I had to rate it. I think it looks maybe like his brother, like they're familiar, like there's some relation there, but it doesn't to me look enough like Cavill. I think he looks too soft-eyed and too, like, not even young. It's not, because you look at the skin texturing and it's like he looks younger for sure, but I just don't think it's the right face. Henry Cavill's got such a great smile too, a great smirk to him, that, like, I think if you'd given him that kind of a smirk, better than what we saw with the Ant-Man, like Dean was saying, but seeing a Henry Cavill smile shine through would have been a great sculpt of, like, the hero sculpt. And the angry sculpt, when I initially saw the photo and it was kind of at a distance, I laughed out loud. I honestly thought it looked like a stank face, like he just smelled bat farts in the Batmobile, and he's like, I'm still in Metropolis and I can smell that. Like, what the hell is going on?
Did the Thizzle Dance song ever make its way to your parts of the world at all?
It did not.
Okay, it's from the Bay Area over here, so you wouldn't know.
Fair. But I will say, no Yomo, this does not look like Jackie Chan. It does still look closer to me to Cavill than that. But when I saw the up close picture of the angry sculpt, I did fall in love with it a lot more. I think the paint around the eyes, the expression is there when I compared it to some like pictures of Cavill actually doing the laser eyes. He really does kind of make this grimace face when he does it, and it really sold me on it. The only downfall is that I think because the angry sculpt, in my opinion, is so much stronger than the softer sculpt, I feel like most people who get this in their collection are going to have this angry sculpt in their display, and everybody will have a very similar display that ends up picking this figure up. Again, I would have liked to see rolling eyes with a smile for the other figure, and I'm good with the angry figure. I do have the black suited Superman behind me though, and while I do think that the paint applications look superior on the InArt version, I still think I like the sculpt of that Cavill more. So.
For the more stoic face, but not the angry face, right? Because this angry face is way better than
I agree.
The Hot Toys
for the stoic face, not for the angry face. The angry face on that one looks like he's got pink eye and he's having a hard time with it.
Yeah, but the stoic face is what, 8 movies and 10 years earlier? Like, he's not supposed to look like the black suited Superman, you know?
For sure. Yeah, I do see that there's an evolution to the character for sure, but even still, even with some side by sides, I thought I'd see it more, and I'm just not loving it. But that's why it's cool that it's still artwork. It's a piece of art, you know. I mean, I think that's the fun part about it. So
we're all going to see something different,
yeah,
no doubt about it.
It's okay to be wrong.
I mean, fair.
So those folks that are saying why include a slide and then talk about it next week. Let's talk about this Gandalf next week. Everyone wants to hear Zach's thoughts on this. You know, we could talk about it. I think it looks great, but let's go really in depth on this next week, right? So I think we may have some divisive opinions on this, but yeah. So overall, there's some looks at the Gandalf. They also showed the Harry Potter. I think we can kind of breeze over that. I think we've kind of talked that to death. Doesn't necessarily look any different.
Although you could see the scar under the sculpted hair better than I expected. When I first heard that the sculpted hair would be in front of the scar, I was like, oh, you're not going to be able to see it. And then on some of the photos, obviously not this one, you can see it up to a certain extent. So I feel like that's a very key aspect of the Harry Potter character. It's a weird choice to cover most of it up. So I'm happy you can see it.
There we go. So
yeah,
sculpted on the left.
To be fair, it's not like he's walking around the movie like this. Like, he almost wants to take away notice of his scar.
Yeah, I think that's why he rocks the Justin Bieber.
But you're not wrong. It's like, that's like kind of like one of his fucking things. Like the fact that there isn't like swap out hair to, it's odd. But I mean, it looks pretty fucking good.
Absolutely,
I mean, all the Jokers looked really good too. And I mean, they came out really good. So I have, at this point, I have no reason to doubt this isn't going to come out looking amazing.
So at
the Gandalfs are shaping up to look pretty fucking good too.
At the end of this, after we talk about all the figures, I do want us to give InArt a grade in terms of what we've seen from this entire showcase. Okay, so maybe we can do that with Hot Toys next week. Hashtag save it for next week, but let's give InArt a grade after we talk about all the figures. So this Aragorn looking fantastic, both the sculpted and the rooted look terrific. I've got the sculpted on order. Do either of you have any version of this on order?
I do not. I can't just like have like figures by themselves. So it would kill me to just have like a Gandalf or an Aragorn or just those two. I mean, the ensemble cast is like 8 or 9 people. So I can't do it. As much as I love those films, I can't like get that many figures at this price point,
Yeah, absolutely.
Once again, I think the cool answer is Lord of the Rings is amazing, and you should own everything that they ever create. But I don't love them enough to collect from it, to be honest. As much as I love the films, spending that kind of coin on the figures is just not my jam. I will live vicariously through Mr. Zach when he gets it in hand.
Absolutely. So yeah, and like I mentioned, I'm getting this Aragorn, the rooted version, which I don't want that many rooted figures, but this one just a transcendent look. So the Pennywise as well, looking fantastic. Both the sculpts look creepy as fuck.
Oh, I thought he was picking his nose in that one picture a little bit there.
I think he may be, actually. I think that's a
little bit
that's accurate to the film.
They look awesome, though. They do look really cool.
They really, really do, honestly. Yeah. So, Dean, any thoughts on Pennywise?
Yeah, his balloon string is too straight.
Throw it in the bin at this point. Throw it in the bin.
I mean, have you ever handled a balloon? The fucking string doesn't go fucking straight down.
Oh, man.
It's 6-scale magic, but okay.
Oh, man. That's awesome. And so by the way, in terms of me rushing the show, so initially, before I was supposed to host, I do have a hard stop, in a few minutes from now, because I am the best man at a wedding this weekend. So I won't be on LWO this weekend. And so I'm going over to the groom and bride's house to kind of go over the last bits of my speech, and Gigi's actually going to be officiating as well. So, we've got to we got to rush this a little bit.
I will say, if it wasn't
Marco Savage tonight.
Sorry to interrupt you. If it wasn't for Marco, we probably would not have had the show tonight, because Zach did cancel it earlier, and we were all kind of like, okay, I guess we get the night off. And then Marco connected with Zach and was like, I'd be happy to run it for you, assuming we can do it a little quicker today. And he organized it. He spent 2 hours putting the slides together before the show so everybody could have something to look at. So while I like giving him a hard time myself, I will say I did none of the work to get this show set up. And Dean and I just pretty much showed up at the 11th hour.
Like we said, that's called the Dean. You just show up and look pretty. But
so thank you guys for putting it still together and having a short show or whatever. Hashtag save it for next week. We'll forget by next week. There's going to be so much random next shit.
Well, who knows? Sometimes it's like a bunch of news and then shit goes dormant. So no, but appreciate you guys rallying. Appreciate everyone in the chat kind of sticking with us here for an unconventional show. So yeah, I really appreciate y'all.
This will be episode 279, part 1.
There we go. I would love that. That's actually hilarious.
To be continued.
To be continued. Hashtag save it for next week. So let's go to this Michael Jackson here. Really interesting choice of the version of Michael Jackson, right? So I was kind of hoping they would do the Thriller. I know Hot Toys did a Thriller 2-pack. That was kind of like a little bit more cinematic, and I think that would fit with my collection a bit more. But Dean, how are you feeling about this version of Michael Jackson? Does it look like him?
Yeah, I mean, that's unmistakably Michael. The second you see it, you're like, huh? I didn't realize this was InArt when I first saw it. because the parent company is Queen Studios. So I just figured they were putting on an event with InArt stuff and decided to show off a statue that they were doing. Nope, it's a fucking figure, which comes out of fucking left field. So pretty cool. People love Michael Jackson, so
international sensation, right? Like anywhere, even in Canada. No, I'm joking. Anywhere around the world, people are going to know this version of Michael Jackson.
I mean, no wonder he's got that voice, because look at that thong holding that guy's poor nuts in that little leather pants. You hate to see it. I can barely even look at the guy's face because I'm like, wow, that thong is aggressive. And you liked my hee Dean. I saw you like that over there. Don't you even laugh at that.
It was questionable.
It was pretty questionable. We're not going to have a segment called The Voices of Ben. It'll be The Voices of Dean at some point. That's the short you need, the short segment for that last 35 subs to 3,000. But as much as I like some Michael Jackson music, for sure, I don't think I would ever purchase a figure for it. I think it's Kiko from Kiko Collects. He's got, I think it's a statue. I don't think it's a figure, but he's got a statue of Michael, like doing like the super lean, like the InArt lean, but like on purpose. And that looks real cool. Looks real cool. So
yeah,
I'm not going to do the crotch grab this time.
Yeah.
Save it for next week though. I'll put pants on next time and I'll do it for you guys. But this time,
all right.
The audio listeners, you're missing out, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was free balling before the show.
Hashtag show that hog.
Free ball.
But I will just say, this is one, as we see more, I could be tempted. It's likely going to be an expensive piece with this backdrop. It's probably going to light up. I wouldn't be shocked if it's pushing $1,000, but I grew up on Michael Jackson. As problematic as he may be, I would be tempted. So I'm not going to lie to you and say that I'm going to pass because this is the version I wanted. We'll just see. Any more thoughts on MJ?
Yeah, I mean, you could almost do any version of Michael Jackson and fucking get away with it. Fucking Bad, Billie Jean.
Thriller outfit.
This is some tour. I forget which tour Kiko told me. Because somebody was like, well, this isn't the Michael Jackson I wanted. It's like, sky's the limit, dude. They could do anything now.
It would be cool to have the thriller outfit though, with like all of the Marvel like dead figures, like the dead Captain America and Iron Man and stuff. Like that could be a cool setup if you didn't have a musical collection otherwise.
I'm saying it'd fit the horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Smart.
Absolutely. So yeah. The last figure we have, and then we'll just give them an overall grade and wrap the show, is the Paul Atreides. This one I'm less keen on, but Ben, I'm going to start with you. How do you feel about this Paul Atreides?
You're cutting in and out just a little bit too, Marco. I don't think it's my internet. The Paul isn't even pulled up yet.
Yeah.
So
weird. Interesting.
Yeah,
got to close some of those extra tabs.
How are you feeling about this Paul Atreides?
Yeah. So Dune was one of those films that everybody told me. Oh, are we good? Dean, can you hear Marco? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Dune was one of those films that everybody told me, like, you have to watch. It's amazing. And I'd watched the original Dune with, Jean-Luc Picard or Sir Patrick Stewart, and loved that film for its time, while a lot of folks didn't. It was a pretty confusing version, but obviously we never got much after that. And then with Dune Part 1 here with, this Paul Atreides, I was kind of lukewarm on seeing it, and then when I finally watched the movie, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was awesome, and I can see like the Dune Part 2 coming being one of the best sequels out there. I think it's going to be a fantastic film, and I honestly think this character is going to shine even more than he did in Dune Part 1, which may make me want to buy it. Because at first I was like, I think as much as I liked the film Dune, I could skip on a figure lineup from it. But the more amped I get about Dune 2 coming, the more I'm like, oh, maybe. But I do feel like we need some companion pieces with him. I know we saw the third-party version of his dad at one point there, which I thought was pretty good a couple weeks ago. Can't remember what the figure name was now, but the Oscar Isaac character, I mean, I thought that was a really well-done third party. So And I would like to see the Jason Momoa character. I'm having a hard time remembering his name now, offhand, but he was a cool character. It's unfortunate Duncan, thank you. Unfortunate, no spoilers, hopefully, at this point, that he passed in the first film, or at least we're pretty sure he did. Because he'd be a cool companion piece with Paul. But if you were going to have anything in your collection, the third party, I thought it was third party for the Paul Atreides' dad, was it not?
No,
Sean Forsters are saying it's
Og
licensed. Og Toys.
Yeah, Og Toys was licensed. Yeah.
Apologies, missed that. So, I think it's cool. I don't know if I'm going to need to collect from it. I guess point is.
Do your homework.
Right? I know. Just I'm on cold meds. I'm on a lot of cold meds, guys. Okay, I didn't even.
You guys really rallied, man. You really,
a
really
lot
rallied.
of cold meds.
Dean, any thoughts on Paul Atreides?
Yeah, I saw the movie in theaters and I fell asleep. And I was bored the other day here at the house because I was injured, so I've been laid up looking for shit to watch. And I was like, you know what, Dune's on here, I'm gonna watch Dune. God damn, I fell asleep at the worst part because that's when everything unfolds and happens.
Started popping off,
and everything
it's a slow burn for that one.
Everything starts clicking together. I woke up right at the part with the tooth, the poison tooth.
Oh shit!
So it's like when everything kind of ended, and then it was like, well, now we're in the desert. So I missed so much important shit. So going back and watching it and picking all that up made the rest of the movie so much more enjoyable. And I was like, holy shit, this movie fucking rocks, dude. I want a Paul in my.
Is it me or Dean this time?
It's Dean.
Hello.
That was an incredible freeze right there. I hope I was freezing that cool.
Am I back?
The cinematic. You're back. You're back now, baby.
I'll have to go back and watch it. But yeah, I want to pull in my collection really bad. That being said, I don't think this is better than Og Toys. I know the rooted hair, it looks good, but Paul's also very disheveled. So it's almost like it doesn't really need to look good because it almost makes it look better. But the sculpt is great. The outfit looks cool. I like the base, very Doom-esque. Tons of accessories that I wouldn't even expect. Even the little sand mouse thing, the thumper, the fucking little compass, the mask. I don't even think they ever wear the full headgear in the movie, and they give it to you anyway. It's cool. I like it.
Nice, yeah. Really, really cool. Really cool looking figure, but yeah, like I said, I'm less blown away by this one. So overall, let's just give InArt a grade here. I'm gonna give them a B+ from what I've seen. Let's start getting a few of these figures out into collectors' hands here, but if they can deliver the quality from these prototypes and kind of close to final production figures that we've seen, I think they're going to continue to release some bangers. But Dean, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have seen Harry Potter. The Gandalf, the Aragorn, Harry Potter. We've seen those figures already. But then they came out with Paul, which we didn't even know they had a working prototype of. Mm-hmm. Superman, which we had no idea they were going to even touch at all. Mm-hmm. And then Michael Jackson out of fucking nowhere. God damn. It's weird though. The figure they announced before Harry Potter, which is I believe from a Chinese property that everybody was like, what is this? Nobody knew what it was. Didn't see anything from that. So that's kind of weird. It's like, well, okay, you announced something, but we don't see anything, and then you're showing us stuff that you never even announced before. So that being said, I mean, solid A. Not only are you showing us stuff that looks good and, we know you can deliver so far, but now you're showing us stuff that we didn't even expect. I like it.
Heck yeah. How about you, Ben?
Yeah, I'd give it like an A minus. I would say for the most part. The only reason for the minus on this point is because of the Og toy. Paul Atreides. Honestly, I took a look at him and it's like, wow, that one actually I think might be better. Whereas all these other ones,
you get 2 versions.
Yeah, whereas all these other figures I think look fantastic. Honestly, the Gandalf especially really stands out to me. This Bruce Wayne, old Batman figure, I should say more so, really stands out. That Pennywise, while I thought the Hot Toys one was insanely good, that Pennywise blows it out of the water for InArt in my opinion. So I think they're all really good. I'm just a little disappointed that Paul isn't actually a little closer in likeness to Og. The Michael Jackson was kind of a cool like cherry on the top, just because it does kind of just show that like at some point we're gonna all open our Facebooks one day, because that's the only reason I even use Facebook anymore, and we're gonna see shit from them that we didn't expect. And I like that anticipation and excitement when it comes to the collecting world. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Always have to have something to look forward to. Sam gets to saying, I would love a Christopher Reeve Superman by InArt, please. When John was on LWO, he seemed to confirm the Christopher Reeve Superman. So I think it's coming. When it's coming, we don't know, but I think it'll be around the corner here very soon. So with that, Dean, if you wouldn't mind helping us wrap the show and read off the 3 pillars.
Yeah, give a quick shout out to Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan. Hey, Kevin. Oh.
Incredible.
Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gibbs, Daminator, Schwab Braddock, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Billy Badfish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crep, Big Ol' Fern, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonski, Rick DeGregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Evzicina, the illustrious Rainer, Ahmed Morgan, 2 Cothry Watt, Derek B, Arias Fortillo, Alvin J, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3VO, Scott Smith, Don Madon, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Mazonaris, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. That's not it at all.
Whoops. Uh-oh. I pressed the wrong button. Incredible. Thank you for that, Dean. And if you wouldn't mind talking about the July and August Patreon benefits.
Yeah, so I believe the Saks Wonderland stickers went out already for July and August. But the Small Talk logo sticker, I believe comes next. So the Saks Wonderland you guys should already have or should be getting right now. And then the Small Talk new logo. It's already been shown. I don't know why this is still blurred.
This is on me. I think I used an old slide, so apologies. Let's get past that and let's talk about the Patreon tiers.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind.
To join the Patreonies, you got the $5 a month. Show your support for the Empire. With the Patreon chat, you can come hang out with us. Talk to us pretty much all the time, nonstop. Sweet Angel tier, that's the man, Zach is so much better than this one.
Okay. We can just read the tiers.
No, the Sweet Angel tier, $7.50 a month. That's the stickers sent to your door. Access to Ox After Dark. Oh, that's right. Ox After Dark is also hot seat. Which is cool. Anybody can watch it live, but after that, you have to be a Patreon to watch it. Certified Crispy. Again, you get the stickers. You get all the digital benefits. Assistance with figure fix. So if you have a broken figure or like maybe you dropped a head sculpt and some paint chipped or something and you need help fixing it, message Zach. And if it's within his power, he will fix it for you.
If your Wonder Woman from Hot Toys came and the hair's not perfect, send it to Zach. He's going to style it perfectly for it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
I wouldn't trust him with that.
Yeah, definitely not in his wheelhouse.
What a Guy tier, $25 a month. Get a Pog Deluxe set on your first pledge. Doubles of all the stickers, which is great. Because so many times people are like, do you have any of those stickers left? Or like, no, they're all gone. Oh, there's the Pog Deluxe set. I think we're gonna do new Pog soon. I think there's only a few of these left, and then we're gonna do a new set. No reissues.
Such a beautiful set.
One.
No reissues.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
All the previous benefits of the other tiers. And yeah.
Heck yeah.
Those are our Patreon tiers.
Thank you for doing that, Dean. And in terms of the channel members?
Yeah, we got Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andreas IB, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Old Fern, Blurred Dad Life. I always thought it was Blurg until I started looking at it. It was Blurred. Bob Dylan, CC3POs, Chris V, Cram, CT603, DJ Daminator, Dante's Boneyard, Eclectic Collector. Jeez, I never thought I would get that wrong. Equan, Fat Batman, Gare Bear, Gotham's Xenobites, Jake. Big shout out to Jake. Just Another Friday Night, Justin Sports Card, KJ Smith, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Money Mendez, Mr. Mom Collectibles, Knight. Just Knight? Okay. OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 1 6-figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S-Beam, Sam Giss, Slifer, SpongeBob SquareBall, Sunnyvale Russ, The Ben Thomas Show. Get that guy out of here.
Get
Toy
him
Cartel.
He hasn't been paying his membership dues.
Awesome. Thank you for the support there. And if you wouldn't mind reading off the Patreon and
yeah, so this is YouTube channel members. If you're a Patreon, it's only 99 cents. You get loyalty badges and emojis for using in the chats when you're hanging out with us on YouTube. And then for everyone else, that's $2.99. They'll join the Peanut Gallery and you get all the same badges and stuff.
hell yeah. What a champion, Dean. Thank you for reading those.
Yeah.
We've got these all on TeePublic, correct?
Yeah, these are all our shirts on T-Pub. We got more than this. These slides haven't been updated in a long time. We have other designs. Zach and I always say wait for the sale because it's like regularly like $30, but if you wait for the sale, it's like 15. So.
And I know Ben and I love our Blockbuster Movie Night shirts. Mm-hmm. Blockbuster Movie Night will return next week. Hashtag save it for next week with Conan the Barbarian from 1982. With Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I believe it was, yeah.
Absolute classic. So looking forward to discussing that one with y'all.
Bro, I like this so much. I watched the sequel. Like right afterward. Well, we'll talk about it.
Interesting. Okay. I haven't seen the sequel, so got to check that out. Obviously, all the shows here on the Collecting Weekly Network. Because Zach, maybe in and out. We don't know what shows are going to move forward. So look for announcements on the Facebook group in terms of when everything is going to be premiering this week. Free shout outs. Want to give a shout out to number 1, Zach, number 2, Dean, and number 3, Ben. Everyone was kind of down bad this week. Down bad's not the correct word. Everyone was kind of aching this week. Everyone rallied. So really appreciate you boys and love you boys.
Same. 100%.
Yeah, shout out to you, Marco, for taking charge and calling for your bannerman because for me to do the show without Zach is like I don't know, like he's my guy. Like he could do it without me, right? Because he started the show without me. Yeah. So like if I miss an episode or two, it's really not a big deal. But like this is legitimately the first episode of the show without Zach. So it's very weird to me.
It's weird to everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm comforted to have you and Ben here. So, but thank you for taking the lead because I didn't know how to bring it up to Zach. Like, well, we could still do it without you, and I wasn't sure how to do that. So thank you for doing that and. You did good. We did good, I think.
I think so. I think we pulled together a really, coherent show for the most part. And every podcast that you listen to, there's always guest hosts, right? Because people are taking vacations, but Zach is so consistent. You and Zach just don't miss shows. So I know that streak is important to y'all. And I was like, I would just love to just jump in. I could do what I can, and we can put together a show. So glad it all came together. But Ben, how about yourself, man?
Yeah, I mean, I love Zach. Missed you tonight, buddy, for sure. We've been thinking about you, but thanks for letting us still have a fun show anyways and control all your buttons through Marco. I thought that was pretty fun. Also, a shout out to the over 70 people that were watching live at one point today. Still ended up being a great turnout. We definitely appreciate you guys coming back week over week and sending us some funny comments. It makes the experience that much more fun for me, especially when I put my foot in my mouth and say stupid shit, and you guys tease me for it for weeks and weeks at a time, and to the point where I'm like, oh, maybe I'll never say anything on the internet ever again. Anyways, I digress. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching, and I love you boys. Always a good time with you guys. I saw somebody ask about when's the Pablo Meza said, is there a new reissue show coming up soon? We may start to incorporate the reissue into my Sunday Let's Get Nuts show every once in a while, so maybe like once a month, or we'll figure it out. But because it's such a long show, and we have so many other shows going on with Collecting Weekly, just weekly anyways, I don't have as much going on my show other than my Sunday Let's Get Nuts. So maybe it'll be a double take, or we'll add these guys as guest panelists on that show, and kick Pete out that week or something.
Wow, Pete is royalty, bro. You can't do that, man.
Then we got a message here from Zach himself. Thank you to everyone for the messages today. Going into details with everything maybe next Wednesday on After Dark, not tomorrow. I don't think we're going live tomorrow at all, if he's feeling up for it. So if you know, you know. If not, tune in next week, and we'll talk about it. But we miss Zach. We love Zach. He's the best. And,
absolutely.
We carry the show in his honor.
So, of course.
But he's fine. He's he's not dead or anything. So
yeah.
Because Fern always pops up in the chat says R.I.P. and then people are like, "What happened?"
Oh, man. Yeah, definitely lots of love to Zach. Thank you for everyone for watching tonight. And with that, I will leave you all with this. I'm Marco.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ben.
Whoa, hey, Jumbo. You know the Jumbo, yeah?
Fuck yes.